What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest channel. And if you are not subscribed yet, please do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. And let's get into this conversation slash reality chat. Okay, you guys who are subscribed to my channel, I do not do reviews, show reviews, reality show reviews, all of that jazz. I am subscribed to a number of different channels that do that type of stuff, and I love it. And I honestly, of all of the channels that I'm subscribed to, I think there's only one that does reviews of Married at First Sight. But I have never been subscribed before to anyone who talked about the show, let alone I never really watched the show. I only started watching it last season, and last season was season 15. And I think when the show started in the very beginning and I saw the previews for it, I was interested in it because I just was like, really? But it just never pulled me in and I never watched it. But last season, for some reason, I just got interested in it from the previews of the show, and I decided to watch it. And that season, it was crazy. And I think there were 5 couples. One didn't make it past a few weeks, and I think out of all of them, maybe only one of the couples out of the 2 couples that made it to decision day, because 4 couples made it to decision day and 2 couples decided to stay together, but I think until this day, only one of those couples is still together. I don't follow any of them on social media, so I don't know their everyday lives, but I'm actually gonna share my screen because I just wanted to talk about this show. Again, I'm not doing a review of the show, but I just wanted to talk about it and get your thoughts on this show and the reality of it, because in my opinion, look, marriage is hard for a lot of people anyway. And the reason it's hard, I've talked about it or discussed marriage here and there a little bit. I just feel I am someone who believes that marriage is a good thing and it can work. But I don't believe that a lot of people who get into marriage get into it thinking soundly, and a lot of people get into marriage for the wrong reasons. We know this. Even if you don't believe in marriage, you know that a lot of people who get into marriage get into it for the wrong reasons. And even if you believe in marriage, you know that a lot of people get into it for the wrong reasons. Okay. And then the wedding vows, you're really supposed to be making a vow to God and to that person. But the vow was actually supposed to be more so to God and then to your spouse. And if you've ever heard people say, God first, then my spouse, then my children, and career, there really is supposed to be an order in life. And I do believe that there's a lot of disorder in life because a lot of people don't follow the order of things the way that they should be. I'm just sharing my beliefs, okay? But I do believe that marriage was something that was ordained and created by God, and a lot of people have made it into something that they really want it to be. And there are supposed to be benefits to marriage because God really created marriage because he wanted it to be something that would be beneficial. But, if people see it as a burden, then it's something that you really shouldn't be in. But this isn't, you know, I didn't do this to really talk about marriage overall, but I just thought it would make sense because we're talking about a reality show where you've got strangers that are coming together to get married. And so that alone makes it even harder, even harder. So when it comes to this show, and I'm going to share my screen because I want to go to the Married at First Sight website. I just feel that the people, I think it's a counselor or a therapist and some other people that do the screenings to get these matches together, right? Well, this is season 16 that we're on right now. And they say about the show, the Critics' Choice award winning series, Married at First Sight, is in Music City for its Sweet 16 season. 10 Nashville, Tennessee based singles embark on a journey to meet the love of their lives during this 23 episode season, where they'll marry a complete stranger, travel to their honeymoons, and then move in together as husband and wife. After the 8-week social experiment concludes, Each newlywed will have to come to terms with the hard truth of their marriage status and make a life changing decision: continue to stay married and start a future together, or get a divorce and go their separate ways. This season, there will be even more romance and intense stakes, including a shocking twist where one bride's husband decides to make an indecent proposal to another man's wife. Now, that has not happened yet. And so we'll keep watching the show to see, what unfolds with that. But here's the cast, okay? Eris and Jasmine, Christopher and Nicole, Clint and Gina, Mac and Dominique, Shaquille and Kirsten. All right, I'm not going to go into all of their profiles, but the reason why I wanted to talk about this show is because this is just a reality show. And for those of you who are listening to this, you probably are like, duh, of course it's just a reality show. But the thing that really it's definitely entertainment for those of us who are watching it. But I think it's really sad that, and we're on season 16 of this now. I would really want to know, like, how many successful marriages has this show created? And I think it's a bit scary for people to, I don't even believe a lot of these people who come on the show really, really, really want to be married, so to speak. I believe a lot of these people who have come on this show have really done it just for the sake of being on the show. From what I'm told, okay, the people that they pick to be on the show is not just about people who are looking to find love and who ultimately want to be married. They have either a social media presence or a number of followers. They have a certain look about themselves. They pair these couples up with those things in mind because it's a show and they need the ratings. And so it's not just about pairing up a couple with the hopes of them finding love, getting married to a stranger, and hopefully at decision day saying, you know what, we're going to stay together. And even if they stay together after 8 weeks, it doesn't mean that they're going to stay together for 8 years, 18 years, 28 years. Usually, it probably doesn't even work out that way. But this guy right here, Eris, he's 39 years old. He tells his wife, Jasmine, that he's never been in love before. And that alarms her hearing that on the honeymoon. But he was already saying that he couldn't wait to have sex. He was already, asking her like, what's your favorite sexual position? Like, to me, that alarms would have went off at that moment for me when it came to Jasmine, but she keeps calling him, husband. He tells the guys that he's not attracted to her. That is going to be a big problem. And he's like, I'm not saying she's ugly, but she's just like not my type. He's talking about her butt and just like superficial things, but really when it comes to people being in a marriage. But in a way, I get it when it comes to the looks because you're marrying a stranger, someone that you don't know, you've never seen before. And a lot of the previous people that have gotten married from the clips I've seen, and even when I watched last season, when they saw their, like the guy, when they saw their bride coming down the aisle, they're like, "Oh, she's gorgeous." Or they, when she came up to the front of, to get ready to exchange the wedding vows, he would tell her how beautiful she was, or she would say, "You look really great." So the physical attraction was there. And then for some people, the physical attraction was not. For example, right here, Clint and Gina. She's not attracted to him. She told him that usually I don't really go for guys with red hair, the red beard. And, she's like, That's really just not what I'm into." She says that on the honeymoon. And she says that the look that she usually goes for is not a guy that looks like him. She said, I'm not saying that you're unattractive, but like that's what you are. So, of course, that was going to sting a little bit. So, when they're in the group with the other couples, he tells the guys and the other ladies, and definitely her, but indirectly telling her that he usually goes for women that are more slender. So basically, you're telling her that she's I wouldn't say you're telling her that she's fat, but you're telling her that she's a bigger size than what he really would go for. So of course that was going to make her upset. And then you've got this couple here, Mac and Dominique. She's much younger than he is. I want to say she's 25. She's I wanna say she's at least 9 or 10 years younger than he is. She's biracial. He's obviously Caucasian. His mom, she really looked like she was not happy about it, and probably even more so because I don't think she was happy with him marrying into a biracial family. That's just what it looked like to me. So it was very, very awkward and uncomfortable when she went to meet with his family. And then you've got this couple here. She told him initially she was not attracted to him. And, she was honest with him. And then some things that he does gets on her nerves. Like she says that he is a bit too playful for her. She likes to be a bit more serious. And and then she also was annoyed because the first day that they were supposed to travel to Jamaica for the honeymoon, he said, "Well, we're going to have to go there on the next day because I have to go to do a presentation down in, I think it was Louisiana. I can't remember if it was Alabama or Louisiana, somewhere down south, that they needed to travel to for him to do a presentation for his career." And she was so annoyed by it. She was really pissed off. And it was just like a day delay, but she was just not happy about it. And she showed her unhappiness with that. And with that being said, I want to go back to season 15 because there was this, let's see here. I don't know why it's saying season 15 and season 14. Maybe it was season 14, but they have the numbers wrong, I believe. In season 14, I'm looking for this couple. No, actually, it was season 14. In season 14, I think this is when I started. Yeah, this is when I started watching it. This is the couple here that did not make it, and I don't even think it was a couple of weeks. She was pretty much disgusted by him at the wedding. So she was telling the cameras and the producers that she really didn't want to be around him. They went to the honeymoon. She was disgusted by him. She didn't want to stay in the same room with him. She did not want to have any type of intimate interactions with him really at all. She really just wanted to be there for the sake of being around the other ladies. She felt like it was more like a time to bond with the ladies. And he was just like, I'm not doing this. And rightfully so. I was on his side with that because they're supposed to move in together. They're supposed to move into an apartment together. And she was trying to come up with a deal where they could, this was so ridiculous. She wanted to have like alternating weeks where she would stay in the apartment one week and he would stay someplace else, and then vice versa. And he was like, "I'm not doing that. No, I'm done. Like, this is my decision day. I'm done with this. I'm not doing this." She obviously does not want to be with me. And look, that's fine. I'm not going to waste my time. And I was on his side with that. It's like, yeah, absolutely, because she's just not that into you. And don't take it personal. But I don't think that these people who are doing these picks are really doing it for the sake of what is going to be best for the person that they're supposed to be picking a mate for. Because, yeah, because I started watching it in season 14 when Katina and Olajuwon, they were on that season. And that's the couple, this couple here, Katina and Olajuwon, and actually Katina and Olajuwon, Noy and Steve, and where are they? Yeah, I'm looking for them. I believe these, yeah, these couples here, they stayed together at Decision Day on season 14. I don't know if they're still together. I don't follow them. But Katina and Lajawan, they stayed together at decision day, but they have since gotten divorced. And I couldn't blame her because he was very chauvinistic. He wanted basically a woman who was going to be up to his standards when it comes to the career. She was still in school. There are things that she had to do in terms of student loan debt and things like that. And he was feeling a certain type of way about that. He wanted a woman who was career oriented, had all of her ish together, but also could be able to cook him meals and have his meals ready on the table when he came home from work and things like that. He was very backwards in his thinking when it comes to the modern day woman, and he wanted it all. And no woman who is doing all of that can be able to do all of that and have kids. You know what I mean? Cook all of your meals, work a real career, like a real career, and do all of the things that he was expecting her to be able to do. She was like, "Look, I don't mind trying to cook meals, but that's not something that I do all the time." And he was pretty much disgusted by it. So they're no longer together. And so, yeah, I don't know if they're still together, but all of these couples here, no longer together. And then season 15, they didn't make it. They stayed together decision day. I don't know if they're still together. They did not make it. And they did not make it. And they made it. I don't know if they're still together. But I was surprised that they said yes at decision day because he had his ways and she was crying all of the time. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because here we are in season 16. I only started watching it in season 14. And for him to say that she's not his type, why didn't they get the picks right? I feel that this definitely is just more of a reality show than them trying to get couples that are going to be real matches. And it makes sense. In the grand scheme of things, it's a reality show. They have to have the drama, they have to have, all of that good stuff going on. It would be too perfect if these people were just like the exact fits and exact matches. I get that. But to me, it's really scary that they're using marriage in a reality show where these are like legitimate marriages. And if they decide that they don't want to be together anymore, then they have to get a divorce. So I'm assuming that they have prenuptial agreements that everyone has signed and done all of that before. They have to probably agree. I'm assuming, I don't know, before they get on these reality shows that, they have like an ironclad prenuptial agreement that is standard that's saying that no one is rightfully entitled to anything that that other person has coming into this union. And basically because you don't know each other. Okay. But this is really scary because the way it's looking right now, where I think it's only what, maybe season, not season, week 3, I believe, of the show, week 3, maybe week 4 of this show, I don't think any of these people are going to make it, in my opinion. It doesn't look like any of them are going to last. And I just don't feel that they got these picks right because she's already really turned off by him in a number of different ways. They're not attracted to each other. This chick, she is super clingy and just sharing all of her past issues in relationships and how she used to be with partying and drinking and things like that. And he seems like the exact opposite. And then this guy here, he's not attracted to her. And she didn't say she's not attracted to him, but she doesn't believe in like moving as fast physically as he is wanting to. And I don't know where the other couple went. The other couple that I was just talking about, um, they're missing here. I don't know where they went. But anyway, there's another couple, but I don't think they're going to make it either. Shaquille and Kirsten, I believe her name is Kirsten. It's like they didn't really make any matches. And so, look, guys, I am just sharing my thoughts, views, and opinions on the show because I really just started watching it a few seasons ago. And when I see a show called Married at First Sight, I'm thinking that this is really about trying to pair up people and matching them using psychology and therapists and all of those different things like that because arranged marriages goes back a really, really long time. It's not something that is standard here in the United States, but it is something that for some people in other countries and other beliefs, they have been doing forever. And for some of those people, it definitely has worked. And we know for a lot of them, it hasn't worked because those two people have to be in that relationship together and live together. But it's something that it could possibly work, but in this situation on this reality show, I just don't feel like that's what the goal is at all. It's just about making good TV. And that's why I feel like it's sad. But again, it's just for our entertainment, for those of us who are watching. So those of us who are just watching on the outside looking in, it's cool because we're just watching it for entertainment purposes. But for these people who are getting involved in this, I believe that most of them who get into this now, they know that this isn't really what they want. They don't really want an arranged marriage, but they definitely want the exposure. They definitely want to be on a television show. And if this is a way that they can do it, then fine. Because with the guy, Eris, who's married to the beauty queen, she was in pageants, the pageant queen, Jasmine, they asked the guys, they were in a group and they were talking to each other about, like, when was the last time you had sex? And and he was like, well, yeah, I had sex 2 weeks ago. Like, I wasn't married at the time. So yeah. So he's just I just believe he's in this. And I question, out of all of the people that applied to be on the show, why did they pick him? He just seems so disinterested really when it comes to marriage. Like he at the wedding reception, he seemed disinterested. He was speaking with her and she was sharing different things about her life, that she has dogs and things like that. And he was just really like, oh my God, I don't know what I got into. He just didn't seem like he was supposed to be there. So my thought was, who picked this guy to be on the show? And who picked these couples to be together? Again, it's just good TV. It's not about real relationships and this quote unquote social experiment. This is season 16. I would really love to know, out of all of the couples from season 1 up until season 15, because we're on season 16 now, out of all of those couples, how many of them really are still together? I really would love to know that. So I may do some research when I have time, which I don't really have a whole lot of time to do, to just find out how many of these couples are really still together. And I would probably say that it's a very, very, very small percentage. But I just wanted to have a talk, a conversation about this show, guys. I really would love to know what you guys think about it. Let me know your thoughts about Married at First Sight in the comment section below. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to the channel if you have not already done so. And guys, until the next time, this is Beth, and I'm just being beautifully honest.